Hello. I wanted to share with you something that I think is pretty exciting and it's pretty new. It's been around for about a little less than a month now. Many of you who are trying to plan for Social Security have may or may not be aware that you can either hire or in some cases get advice for free from um, what's called registered Social Security analysts through an organization called RSSA, and we're going to take a look at that right now. And the advice is pretty powerful. But one of the things that's changed is it used to require you to have to contact an advisor, an analyst from RSSA, engage them, and then have them do what's called a roadmap to kind of figure out, what your strategies are. Now you can do it all yourself. It's all self-service, and there's no charge, right? So that makes it great. And we're gonna kind of take a look at that really quickly, and we're gonna see what that is. And I'm gonna put this in the comments. I'm gonna put the link in the comments. You can see the link now if you want to take a look at it. This is the link to uh, from my side, but I'll drop it in the comments so you guys can see it. So essentially, you end up here, there's a lot of good information here. There's a video on sort of how the whole process works. You can easily click get started. There's some information about me if you have any interest in understanding, some of that. But let's get right to it, right? So it starts here, and all we require from you to get started is an email address, your name, a phone number, your address, and then you'll want to create a password because this is going to contain your Social Security information. You want to make sure that that's kept private, right? Um, and the way this is going to result for you is in a second here. Let me stop sharing quickly. Um, I'm going to show you what you're going to get with that. And you're going to see this screen. And this is what is going to basically give you all the information. These are two example people, Suraj and Anita, and we're going to get to look at a lot of different things that Suraj and Anita might do, right? And so one of the things that you're going to see here is, based on their income, and these are lifetime incomes, they're going to see coming out of this, okay, well, what is the best scenario for us to retire given Suraj's birthday and Anita's birthday and their work history? And it looks like if Siraj can make it to 70 and Anita can make it to 66, which is essentially her full retirement age, they're going to get the most benefit there, right? And so that's a good thing to sort of know. And then in addition to having that, you're also going to have um, uh, information about the different scenarios, how much money each of those scenarios will make. So you can see, depending on your life expectancy, where do I max out? And you can see that honestly, if you look at sort of these lower age scenarios where, if you're not really, if your family health isn't there and you don't have a lot of good reason to think you're going to live beyond 80, you might make a different set of decisions, right? Um, the longer you live, the better the maximum is going to pay out, and you can start to see that the maximum has got kind of a good growth there. So I just want to stop sharing for a second. The key here is ultimately the what you're going to get if you decide to do this, and I'm just going to open it up real quickly, is you're going to get this really amazing product or packaged report um, that is going to allow you to see a lot of amazing information about you, and it's going to help you make some pretty big decisions. So I'm going to share again, and I'm going to look at the roadmap. This is what you're going to get at the end of when you've done your presentation, when you've done your put all your information in and you've pushed all the buttons. You're going to get essentially this roughly about a 15-page document that's going to give you a lot of information. First of all, it's going to tell you, how much, what do what is considered full retirement based on your birthday, right? And for some people, it might be 66. Some people might be in between, and some people might be 67. So for me, I was born in 1967, so I have to work to 66 to 67 to reach full retirement, and you're going to see why that's important. There's a lot of good information here. I'm not going to go through all of it with you, but I will give you kind of a view. This is, an annual and monthly benefit. So this particular couple has really good earnings. If they wait till 70, they could make as much as 124,668 a month, which could be as much as 10,389 a month. You can see if they go early, the earlier they go, the less they make. And so depending on how, what their situation is, this kind of breaks down the various options, and gives you kind of the maximum, where you get the maximum benefit. And so we can take a look at that. You can sort of see what all those scenarios are. Then it kind of walks you through how do you have to prepare for filing, what needs to be filed and when. So the filing sequence is pretty important. And then it talks a little bit about what happens if Suraj passes away, which we kind of identified in the data that we had his life expectancy was going to be less than Anita's. And that was a decision that Suraj and Anita made together. And you can see that at different points in time, depending on when they went on Social Security, how much Anita is going to get of in combination with Suraj, right? So if you go back to Anita, we can see that in many cases, I'm sorry, go back to her monthly. This is her claiming options. So you can see that in many cases, I'm sorry, I just want to go back up real quick, that Anita is going to have, you can see their joint earnings are what, 10,839. We need to see what Anita's component of that is. Anita's component of that number is 3566. So as you see here in this report, you can see that alone, Anita is about 40,000 of this is what Anita earned. The rest of this is coming from Suraj's death benefit, right? So the longer they wait on that, the higher her post-Suraj life or income is going to benefit, right? And so survivorship is a really important part of Social Security. You definitely want to understand the implications of that. In terms of lifetime benefits, it's going to tell you a little bit about that. A lot of people are very interested in knowing what their Social Security record looks like. So this will tell you a lot about these are retirement benefits. So I'm going to skip ahead. Um, again, this is the detail of the retirement benefits. So we're going to go down to this calculations. So this tells you what each of the, what Suraj, in this case, what Suraj earned by year and how it gets normalized to today's dollars, right? Everything gets normalized and how ultimately that amount is calculated, right? And this is the Social Security calculation. It's not a secret, but most people are unaware of how it all works. And you can sort of see based on those earnings. Now, in future years, which haven't occurred yet, so in 2026 through the future, the more you earn, it is based on your 35 best years. So you can see that any year that exceeds the 10 worst years or the 15 worst years, is certainly going to increase the total benefit, right? For Siraj, I don't think he's going to do a ton better than he's doing now. It can go up a few $100s here, but I mean he has done pretty well, right? He's pretty much at the max of what he's going to earn. There's some explanation of cost of living adjustments. We can look at Anita's scenario. She can look at hers. It's always good to understand your data and, ultimately how her amount is calculated as well. And sort of what would it mean if she could increase her income the back half of her life, right? So I highly recommend getting a report like this and understanding your data. Like I said, it's free to you. I will drop in the comments and in the description, you know, how to get it, how to get this report. There is no obligation. You can simply get your report and be done. Or you could decide, I've gotten my report. I would like to talk to an advisor and sort of understand, more about my options. Thanks for joining. Please like this video. Follow me if you are interested in this topic of Social Security and how it can affect you and what you can do to improve your situation. And please, again, like this video and follow me. Thanks.